guys, and welcome back to Hilltop Farm. I'm Jay, and welcome to another coffee break. Right, now as some of you have probably noticed over the last couple of weeks, there has been a bit of a break in the release of videos. There's a lot going on here on the farm at the moment, and it's the reason we've had this bit of a lull is a combination of so much happening. We're so busy, and the other thing is technical problems that we've been having with the with our computer system and the editing software we use to bring the videos to you. So I'm going to cover those things first. What's going on in at the farm at the moment? As you know, we were developing the front of the property, so instead of just being a bit of waste ground, it was actually utilised as part of the kitchen garden, which is what we're doing. The fencing is 98% finished, just a few little bits and pieces we've got to do to just finish it off and tidy it up. The gates need to be sorted out, but once the gates are wrong, it's then secure and that side of it is done. I've written all these notes here. I have absolutely no idea what any of them say. One looks like something about Girl Guides, and something else looks like a riften tree. One I can clearly read that says soil, but I don't know what that's supposed to be. I don't know what I'm supposed to say about soil. Perhaps I should be a little more comprehensive with my notes in future. Neighbour's tree, perhaps? Could be. Because that was one of the things I wanted to mention. I think I spoke to you once before that the property next door, the old boy passed away some time ago, and the place has been sitting empty. And we've been in dispute with him about this huge tree that's been right on the boundary. But when I say it's on the boundary, it's actually not. It's on his side, but only by a matter of a couple of inches. But it's damaged the fence, it drops debris on our roof, in our downpipes and gutters. There's sections of our backyard that we can't use because it just gets no sun because of this hideous tree. We've been talking to him off and on for 15 years about doing something about it, and he won't, or he wouldn't. Now he's got, I don't know the ins and outs of it, and I won't discuss it too much anyway, because it's not really any of my business. It's certainly not my place to be passing it on to others, but basically, the property has been left to one child, and there's another child that's been deliberately left out, and that child is contesting it. So there's this big hold up for probate. He's going to go to court and all that sort of thing. But the child that's been left it is thankfully chopping down that tree, so that is really good news, but it's creating a huge mess while he's doing it, and when he's finished it's going to be again a massive job to clean up that area of the kitchen garden. It's sort of on one corner. It's affecting the current hen house, and all down one side of the house where this tree was, all that is going to have to be cleared up, because it's just an area of the property we don't go to because it's so overgrown and you can't do anything with it because of this tree. So we're going to be reclaiming this little bit of wilderness, but that's something else that's added to the list. We're trying to get, we know we can't complete this new part of the garden out the front and even down the side. We know we can't complete that before summer hits. And summer here in South Australia is very much like, I would imagine, a lot of our viewers in the Northern Hemisphere have in winter, in that the weather is so severe, you can't spend the day out there because you just die of heat exhaustion. So basically, we write the summer off. We go out, we do our chores morning and night that we have to do, and we make sure everything gets watered. Apart from that, what we do is indoor stuff, which is, you know, canning and preserving and drying and doing all that. Winter, if we need to do anything that involves infrastructure, building new buildings, doing fencing, pathways, anything like that, we do that in the winter. So, and obviously, because we're talking about raised beds and one thing and another, we are against the clock as far as getting it done before the spring planting has to happen. So there's a lot going on out there that's tying us up. Our bare root fruit trees have arrived 4 weeks early, and they need to go in the ground. They've been here a week actually today, and they're still not in. Tomorrow, hopefully weather permitting, we will be out there getting them in the ground. Now what else? That covers the fence and the thing. Yes. Now, dog updates. I'm going to be doing another Papillon Diaries, which in fact possibly is going to be out just before this video. It's actually the last one in this series. I cannot believe those 3 little babies turn 8 weeks old in a couple of days, but they do. And 2 of them will be going to their new homes, and 1 of them we are keeping, at least for the time being. She's showing all the right signs of being a nice show and breeding dog. The only thing is we're waiting, and those of you that follow the Papillon Diaries know that quite often their ears don't go up until a bit later, and this is sort of the time when they start going up. Well, needless to say, the 2 that are going are in the process of going up. The one we're keeping has still got floppy ears, so she will be staying a little while. But if the ears don't straighten, then we'll find her a pet home. But if they do straighten, she's looking very, very promising. So that's happening. Millie is now pregnant with her first litter. She's actually due in 3 weeks' time. I'm guessing she's only got 1. Others say possibly 2, but I still think 1. She doesn't look any different unless you physically flip her over, and even then you would have to be familiar with her to notice any difference. And yeah, just in my experience, if that's the size she is now, well, I think you'll find that's about as many as she's gonna have, you know. Anyway, she is our smallest girl. Having said that, if she only has 1 puppy, chances are she'll be desexed and rehomed. At the end of the day, I mean, we're not a puppy farm by any stretch of the imagination, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, it is expensive to breed pedigree dogs, and you want them to have more than one puppy a year, because that doesn't pay their way. When you take all the expenses into account, it doesn't come close. So that's what will possibly be happening to Millie. Molly is also pregnant, but she's only the equivalent to about 12 to 14 weeks compared to a human. Whereas, as I say, Millie is about 27 weeks by comparison. So you'd be expecting her to be well and truly showing, which she's not. But yes, Molly is pregnant too. Molly's had puppies before and has reasonable sized litters and no dramas. So looking forward to those 2 litters that are going to be born back to back. So although the Papillon Diaries will finish this weekend, the current season, you won't have to wait long before there's more. And we're actually going to be releasing 2 seasons that are overlapping, because each season, as you know, follows one particular litter. So there will be one season following Millie's litter, one season following Molly's, if you get my drift. So that's where we're at with the Papillon Diaries. Quail. We picked up some more quail eggs from a different breeder this morning, and have about an hour ago put them in the incubator here in front of me. So they will be hatching in 2.5-ish weeks. Now, our last lot, and I've heard it, and I was aware of it, you know, people making this comment about how quail eggs, they hatch really quickly and they mature quickly, and before you know it, they're laying their own eggs. And, well, as I say, I knew it, but when you actually live it and experience it, it seems quite bizarre. It doesn't seem long ago, if you remember, when we had that nasty car accident just a couple of months ago. We were on our way back from picking up quail eggs when that happened. Well, those quail have hatched, grown up, and have been laying eggs for the last 2 weeks. So, just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Now, having said that, we haven't, there are all sorts of weird and wonderful colours. We're trying to work out what sex is what, but we're not too sure, because the males, I don't think, are sexually mature quite. But all we know is, I think we've got 16 surviving, but we're not getting very many eggs. So either not all the females are laying, or there's not many females, if you know what I mean. Either way, we decided to get more eggs from another breeder, so we can minimise any inbreeding. We can sort of take the males from like the last lot of eggs to put with the females in this current lot, and the males from this current lot can go with the females from the first lot, if you get my drift. So that's sort of how we're planning on playing. But really, if you don't have quail, or you're in a situation where you can't have chickens, quail are the way to go. I mean, they do make a noise, but it wouldn't disturb anybody. And I always thought they were flighty, and well, we incubated them, we handled them every day, and they're not flighty at all. They just let you pick them up. no dramas. They're relatively clean, and the eggs taste fantastic. I mean, obviously you'd need, you know, sort of 3 eggs to every one, like chicken egg. But if you were in a position where you couldn't have chickens, I think it's a fantastic alternative. Because as I say, it's just a caged bird. People, you know, can't stop you having caged bird. So, yeah, give it some thought. And as I say, if you have got chickens and ducks like we have, it just adds to the mix. It really does, because we've got, you know, chicken eggs, duck eggs, quail eggs, and obviously for sale for our own use, and hard-boiled quail eggs, just cut in half and put into salads, or just, you know, a couple of hard-boiled quail eggs in kids' lunchbox to have, you know, at school. Or I just think it's a brilliant idea. So I'd give that some thought too. It's all happening at the moment. Even the budgies that I breed they're all starting to lay eggs and sit on eggs. We've got in the garden, the kitchen garden down the back, we've got just a decorative aviary just to look pretty. It's got 3 pairs of finches in it, and all of a sudden all 3 pairs of finches have reared babies. So that's all happening out there too. I don't think there's a lot else to report. Oh, yes, what was I saying? The dramas with the computer. Where do I start? I'm going to need a coffee. Well, it all started a few months ago. I started noticing my computer slowing down. And by sometimes of an evening, if I'd been on it a bit that day, or I'd used it a lot, it would get slower and slower. And if I'd been on Gumtree or Craigslist or anything like that, it would become even worse. And sometimes it was near impossible, and you got to the point where you couldn't close windows, you just couldn't do anything. The whole thing just froze up. And it then started not doing Windows updates. It would tell me I needed them, and I would start installing them, and it would get partway through and say there was an error. And when I checked what the error code meant, although there were lots of people that had experienced this thing, it was unclear as to what it was and how to fix it. Now, I'm by no means a computer whiz, so I engaged the help of one of my daughters. And what it transpired is, way back when I started the YouTube channel and I got the editing software, I, of course, didn't do the tutorial or read the instructions. I just launched in and I worked out how to do it for myself, which is fine. But I have noticed, when I've finished editing the videos, it uploads to YouTube through the program. And I have noticed that other people tend to go into YouTube and there's an option there to load a video. But I've never had to, because while I'm in my editing program, it says, do you want to upload? I say yes, and my program does it for me. So that's fine. and at the end of it, it saves the file on my computer. But I have noticed if I go to my computer and I go to the list of saved videos and I click on one because I want to see it for some reason, it doesn't just open like a movie player program and start playing the movie. It opens my editing software and then it plays the movie through that. Just thought it was odd. Well, I've subsequently discovered that I'm actually missing a step. So when I finish my video, I'm supposed to be converting it into a movie and saving it. Once I've done that, then I'm supposed to upload to YouTube. And so I've missed out that middle bit. So although everything's uploaded to YouTube properly, I don't have any of that actually saved in movie form on my computer. Instead, what the computer has done is it's saved all the edits I've made and then the raw materials I've used for that. Now when I say that, sometimes when I'm filming I use more than one camera. I use up to 3. This sort of a video is generally just one. But I might be showing you an incubator or something as well as talking. I might be cooking something. So there's a camera on me, there's a camera on what I'm cooking, there's a camera on my preparation area, and I have all 3 cameras going at once. So and then I have sometimes 2 or 3 different soundtracks of music. There's any wording that I might overlay over the top, the opening closing credits, what else is there? The effects that are used when it goes from one screen to another, anything like that. What happens when you make a movie and it's all edited is it pieces it all together. So, for example, I might have 30 minutes of video, right, to do, say, a 10-minute video. I've filmed actually 30 minutes. But I've got 30 minutes on this camera, and 30 minutes on that camera, and 30 minutes on that camera. The program that I use should cut all that up, make my 10-minute video, and get rid of all the rest, right? And then do the same with the music. I might have a 20-minute soundtrack of this music, and a 10-minute soundtrack of that one, and it just takes the bits I need and throws the rest out. And then it saves the final product. But what it's doing, it's treating it kind of like a recipe, if you can imagine. Say the editing program is the recipe. So rather than just save the finished cake at the end, what it's doing is it's saving the recipe. It might say cup of sugar, cup of flour, teaspoon of vanilla, pat of butter, whatever. So it saves that recipe, but then instead of saving the cup of sugar, it saves 2 pounds of sugar, and 2 pounds of butter, and 2 pounds, so you see what I mean? It saves the full amount, instead of just the little bit you need. So, for what should be a 10-minute video that should be saved, I'm getting like an hour and a half worth of footage and an hour and a half worth of music and it's saving it. So, although my computer is a terabyte of memory, it was almost full. Because you've got to remember, if I do, for example, like Papillon Diaries, the camera will get set up and put on the timer for half an hour, and I just go through and I just pick the bits that I want on there. The rest gets thrown out. If I'm doing a duck update, right, I might only show you 30 seconds or a minute of the ducks playing in the pond, but the camera might have been set up there for 30, 45 minutes waiting for the ducks to go in the pond. So instead of just saving the bit I've used, it's saving the whole lot. So it's jam-packed my computer. So we've taken all of that stuff off and we put it on an external hard drive. Now I have to go through every video I've done, and bear in mind we're almost at 200 videos on the channel now. I have to go through each one and load it into the program and save, and then convert it to a movie and save it. So once I've done that, I can then delete all this other rubbish that I don't need. So it was the reason why I couldn't put out videos, because the computer just wouldn't process it. And now, having fixed that and discovered what the problem is, I've got the last 2 years worth of videos to go back and correct. So it is an absolute nightmare. I mean, it'd be worth it when it's done. And people have said to me, oh, why bother? Why not just carry on from where you are now? But one, if anything happens to any of the videos that they need to be re-uploaded, that's an issue. If anything ever happens to YouTube, and let's face it, it's a bit of a dicey platform over the last year or two. It could fold, it could go under. Someone could come along with a better platform that we all decide, oh, stuff YouTube, we're all going over to that. If we do, most creators are going to want to take their stuff with them, and I'm going to have a hell of a lot of work ahead of me if I'm not prepared. So I want to be prepared and have all my videos all saved and ready to go should they ever need to be uploaded somewhere else. So that's basically basically what's happening. So I think I've rambled on for long enough. I'm well over the half an hour, I think, with this coffee break. So anyway, thank you for watching this. Thank you for bearing with us through our technical problems and our farm infrastructure renovations, if you like. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any other videos. Hit the notification bell so you're notified when we do put out a video. And until next time, it's goodbye from Hilltop Farm. See ya!